Hey, good day, everybody. It's Rick here. And what I want to talk to you a little bit about tonight is Christian forgiveness. Now, this is a Christian blog I'm going to do right here. Now, doesn't make a difference what denomination you are, what you are, Catholic, Baptist, non-denominational, Syrian, I don't care. I am of a certain denomination. I'm not going to divulge what that is because my discussion here is in general to Christianity. Okay, so I really like to talk about Christian forgiveness tonight. Now, that's something that's a buzzword, right? We hear that a lot. If we're Christians, we should forgive people. It sounds very nice. But it's very, very difficult for people to actually do that when push comes to shove. And why is that important? I'm here to tell you as a Christian person, if you are a Christian person and you're listening to this, and even if you're not, the best gift you can give to yourself and to people you deal with is the power of forgiveness. See, society doesn't want you to do that. Society wants you to live in the past in chains. Okay, when I was 22 years old, I smoked dope, I did cocaine, I was part of this party, this rebel group. I don't care what you did when you're 22 years old. I care what you did when you're doing now. If you're 52 years old and you're still doing those things, then there's a problem. Okay, but you gotta understand, Christianity wants you to go forward. Okay? Everything with the Bible, go forward. Don't live in the past. Your past, you don't live there anymore. But society, we see this in politics. Somebody runs for politics, they're in their 50s. They go back to when they're 19 years old and they did something. Everybody makes mistakes at one point or another. Everybody does. If you say you didn't, you're lying to yourself and to me and to anybody else. It's not the mistakes you make. It's the lessons you learn from the mistakes you make. Some of the best people to give advice and some of the finest citizens didn't start that way. Okay? What's the best people to give advice on alcohol abuse? Oftentimes it's alcoholics. Okay? This mentality that we have to go and dig in everybody's past. Your life is a series of chapters. Okay? If you live to 60 years old, 60 chapters, 70 years old, 80, whatever. There's a lot of things that happen. Every year is a chapter of your life. And there are highs and there are lows. You should never be defined by one event that's a low. That's not Christianity. That's secular society telling you that. Keep you under the thumb. Christianity is about freeing yourself, okay? And understanding that there's a lot about you that's a good person. You might have had some bad times in your life. I got that. I got that. You might have done things that you're embarrassed about. I got that. I'm right there with you. But you know what? That's not what life's about. If you're going to have true happiness, learn to understand to forgive people because you want yourself to be forgiven as well. How many times have we seen people, family members, they won't talk to each other because somebody got mad at them 15 years ago at a party or a holiday get together, and now I'm not going to talk to him anymore or her anymore. It's ridiculous. You never know when today's the last day on earth. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. In the last year, I've lost 13 people. About 14 months, to be fair. 13 different people. Now, some of them were older. Okay, I got that. There's cancers and things. Only one was a COVID-related death. And that person was very unhealthy. So that lends itself to that. The other 12 people, none of them had anything to do with COVID. Cancer, pneumonia. One got hit by a motorcycle in Florida. A motorcycle, not a car, a motorcycle. Instant death. Okay? Kidney failure. 13 people. I never thought that would be 3 times back to back on like a Sunday and a Monday. Lost people I knew. They didn't even know each other. It's just one of those years. Okay? I myself had a stroke about 15 months ago, and I'm a very healthy man. Very healthy. I'm 57 years old, and when I was just before my 56th birthday, I had a stroke. Don't know where it came from. They can't find what's wrong. I never missed a day of work. Thank God. I live healthy, and I was lucky. I've had COVID, stroke. I haven't missed a day of work in either of them because I drive on. I don't live in the past. I've done things to people that I'm ashamed of. I've had people do things to me that's not great. But you know what? I never hold a grudge. I'm an Italian guy, and Italians have tempers. But you know what? I stay mad for about that first blast, and that's it, because that's not what life's about. You don't realize if somebody's wronged you, what it takes a man or a true woman to go and actually forgive somebody. That person's going to feel so different. It's enlightening, and you're going to be the stronger person for it. Now, look, I understand some things are difficult to forgive. Some crimes against you or sins against you are stronger than others. I got that. If somebody's really done something to destroy your reputation, hurt you, or whatever, I'm not saying you can just sit there and just easily say, oh, don't worry about it. I know that. I know it. We're human. Okay, it's difficult for us to do that. But I'm telling you now, somewhere in your life, you have to move on. Because if you don't do that, the only person that you're actually going to hurt is yourself. Okay? If you harbor hate for somebody constantly because of something that happened a long time ago, guess who's going to be suffering for it? It's not them. It's you. Christ gave us that example in the Bible. It's not just there, something to read. What did he say? How many times? 70 times 7. The apostles asked, how many times should we forgive? That doesn't mean you become a doormat, you let people walk all over you. Oh, no, not at all. Okay? Not one bit. I'm in the military still. I'm going on 38 years, May 10th. Okay? Doormat is not what a Christian does. But you understand this life is very short. You take nothing for granted. And you realize that, okay, maybe somebody, how many times, I know people who, when they were 20 years old, they won't talk to a person the rest of their life. They still don't to this day because they stole their girlfriend. That happens when you're a kid. And then you're in your 40s, 50s, you have a family of your own. Nobody cares anymore. I mean, when at different times in life, we think it's so important, these events that come up, it's so important, this certain event, anything. And then as years go on, you realize it's just another event of life. Okay, the crisis comes and goes. As a Christian, you understand time doesn't stop for anybody. The crisis coming will pass. It's just another event of life. We're not here forever. None of us live forever. None of us are guaranteed tomorrow. Okay? If you can learn to forgive and be the better person. I don't care. I give you a challenge. If there's somebody hasn't wronged you or somebody in the family you haven't talked to, reach out to them today. Don't wait till they're on their deathbeds or you don't see them anymore and you get a phone call they've passed. Don't wait for that. You'll regret that. Reach out today. Be the better person. So what if they don't? You do. Reach out. Now, some people don't want your forgiveness. That's fine. If you've wronged somebody, tell them you're sorry. If somebody's wronged you, say, look, bygones be bygones. Move on. Let's move on to the future, not the past. Some people don't want to do that. You can't force that. I got that. But you can do your best to go forward. Christianity is about going forward. Secular society is about living in the past. And when you live in the past, you never get out of it. You're stuck in a rut forever. It's a very depressing situation. Christianity realizes that no matter what you've done, let me tell you something, no matter what you've done, there's nothing unforgivable in Christ. Nothing. That's a guarantee of Christ. Doesn't mean you take errors to other people and sins and stuff lightly. I'm not saying that. But you don't live in fear and wallow in the past because you'll never reach your potential. You'll never feel good about yourself. You'll never let yourself be who you are. Okay? Live in Christ. Go to the future. Learn to forgive and forget, and you'll get the same toward you. Because think about it. Maybe the stuff that you've done to people that you want forgiveness for. Well, if that's true, and many of us are not in that case, it first starts with you taking the first initiative, and learning how to be the better person. Swallowing your pride. There's a good pride and there's a bad pride. And the bad pride will eat you away. Okay? Don't worry about what happened 30 years ago, 35 years ago. You can't change that. I don't care. You can't go in a time machine. You can't change that. You've heard these phrases. Tomorrow is the first day of the rest of your life. I know it's a catchphrase, but it's true. Okay? You can only change right now forward. You can't change the past. Don't try to do it. You'll always fail. You'll always be struggling, shoveling you know what against the tide. Okay? So it's Rick here. Okay? I don't claim to be a minister because I'm certainly not that. Trust me when I tell you. Just trying to get a little Christian talk here. I'd like to welcome your commentaries. This is not about attacking each other. Please, if you respond, please don't do that. Whether you agree or disagree, that's fine. Put your commentaries here. But it's Rick here on, 20 April 2022. I hope you have one heck of a great week. And yes, I'm a fan of Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm not afraid to say it. Maybe we'll win a playoff round for once. 110 points a year. We can't even win a playoff round. Good night. Have a great night. Good night.